You're listening to the Med Spa Marketing Podcast by Scale 77, your go-to show for med spa owners, medical aesthetics, and elective wellness entrepreneurs. Each week, we dive into powerful marketing strategies, proven growth tactics, and the secrets to attracting more clients, all while keeping you ahead of the latest industry trends. Join us as we uncover insights from top industry leaders to help you boost revenue, enhance patient experience, and master the art of marketing your med spa. Hosted by Jonathon Parker. With years of experience helping med spas grow, Jonathon has supported countless clinics and providers, working with respected brands and elite industry thought leaders. If you're ready to scale your business and stand out in the aesthetics industry, this is your podcast. Here's your host, Jonathon Parker.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 1 of the Med Spa Growth Blueprint. My name is Jonathon Parker. I'm the co-founder of Scale 77. What we are is a growth agency that works exclusively with med spas and aesthetic clinics. If you haven't already watched the introduction to this series over at episode 0, be sure to check that out first. And also feel free to grab our free med spa marketing playbook over at scale77.com/playbook to follow along. And you can also find a ton of other free resources over there as well. So in this session, I'm going to be going over why most med spa marketing fails. Once you can understand why most marketing fails, you'll really be able to understand what it takes to make your marketing start working. And once you're able to identify each part of your system, it gets easier to know what you need to fix, whether it's your ads, your follow-up, or your sales. So if you ever feel like your marketing is always just inconsistent or based on luck, then this is really the episode for you. So getting right into it, most med spas I speak to really don't have a marketing system. They have what I call hope marketing. And hope marketing is just when you do all of the random quick tips you'll see on TikTok or Instagram, and you just to try to fill your calendar as quickly as possible. You'll run a random promotion on your Instagram page or just boost one of your random social posts you already have. And once they bring you some leads, if any, it really just dies off quick and you're right back at square one with nothing to show for it. And operating like that will really burn you out. Waste your time and money big time. So if that sounds familiar, you really aren't alone. I call it hope marketing for a reason. It's just hoping that something sticks. So if you've been in the game for a while, I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's good weeks, good months, followed by just periods of time where you're staring at the phone for days, waiting for something to happen, not knowing what to do. But here's the good news. It's not because you're doing something wrong. It's just because you're missing the structure that allows you to keep this machine running 24/7. So why does this happen? It's because most med spa owners are just shotgunning marketing everywhere without systems. Pretend you wanted to lose a couple of pounds, but you're not allowed to look at the calories in the food you're eating or see the weights on the machines in the gym. It would probably take you a lot longer to reach your goal than if you just had your right systems in place, right? Marketing is really the exact same way. The issue isn't around the work you're putting in. I talk to dozens of med spa owners every single week who are working 80 plus hour weeks, week over week. But that's not the issue. It's just the systems that they're using. You need a system that's seamless and that you understand. It should include an offer that grabs people's attention. It should have consistent follow-up that's able to convert the leads whose attention you capture. And you just need a way to track every single metric so you know what to improve. If just one of those pieces is missing in your system, everything can fall apart. You might have a good offer, but no follow-up, or you have a great follow-up, but a weak offer. And on top of that, if you aren't tracking all of this, you won't even know what you're supposed to fix. So let's go over some of the biggest mistakes I see med spa owners making and exactly how you can fix these in your own business. The first one is super common, and that's when med spas rely on discounts to get customers in the door. Discounts are great at getting people's attention in the first place, but long-term, they kill your branding and they make you look like a discount clinic. And you're just training your customers to wait until prices are low instead of book in because of the value you offer. There's a big difference between a killer offer and a discount. Discounts will just slowly bleed you dry, while offers catch people's attention and they get them to book into your treatments for a premium price that actually reflects your clinic. The next mistake I see way too often is when med spa owners get caught up on leads instead of bookings. And don't get me wrong, I see a ton of agencies do this too. Everyone likes when their business makes big numbers, but it's important to make sure you're focusing on what matters. Similar to how profit keeps you alive, not your revenue. A lead is just someone who's interested in your business on the most surface level possible. And they'll give you their name and number to some of your advertising that caught their eye. But the truth is, over half these people, you're never going to hear from again. You need to be focusing on getting people booked into your calendar. And even on top of that, you're still going to have to pay close attention to your show rate, because people that book on your calendar are almost worse than a bad lead because they're taking your time. So that really steers me into the third most common problem I see, which is just the lack of urgency to reaching out to these leads. We call it speed to lead. I'm sure you've heard about this MIT study that's been done, but I'll tell you about it here again. Sometimes it's just better to be reminded than to be taught. There was a super in-depth study done across hundreds of thousands of leads over this time span of 3 years. What they found out was that your chances of having a lead convert drop 400% if you don't reach out within the first 5 minutes of them showing interest. So if you think you're too busy doing treatments and it's fine to let the phone ring and you'll just call them back next time whenever you remember, that lead is just as good as gone. They also found that people are way more likely to pick up the phone the 10th time you call them versus the first. So this all really comes to show follow-up is key. And finally, that brings me to the last major problem I see, which is just no clear messaging. If your marketing just says, we do Botox or fillers or facials, so does every other med spa in your city. When you take that approach, people just look for the lowest price treatment since no one stands out. You have to remember what you offer isn't a need, it's a want. No one wakes up thinking, I need Botox today or I need filler today. But people do think, I need to get slimmer for my wedding or I need to get rid of these under eye bags. And with the right positioning, you can solve those needs. Your message needs to connect to their emotions, not just the treatment. Now, let's just get into what these top med spas are doing differently and how you can implement this into your own business. None of what they're doing is really a secret. They just took the time to sit down and do the boring task of building out these systems. First up's the offer. Most med spas you're looking at all say the exact same thing, just offering the same discount, and that gives you no chance to stand out or prove yourself. The best performing spas position what they do as an outcome. Instead of selling microneedling for 40% off, you could position it as turkey neck rescue package for just a $20 deposit today. Secure your spot now. A good way to craft these offers is to find what's already working. When you scroll on Instagram, for every 5 posts you see, you're going to get an ad. So next time you're on there scrolling, just keep a lookout for all the ads and look at whichever ones catch your eyes and see if that would make sense in your clinic. And you can just iterate off of those. The next big difference is the top med spas don't give away all of their time for free. Free consultations make sense in theory to get more people in your door, but you need to value your own time and take into account you can control your lead quality. When people don't have any skin in the game, they have no reason to respect your time. They're probably booked into 4 other med spas in your town too for that week, and they've already forgotten about those too. Every time someone books in and doesn't show, that's a time slot you could have had for a paying patient. So that brings me into why the best med spas use deposits. They aren't asking for half the treatment's value up front or anything like that, but just enough for people to have some level of commitment. What you can do today for your paid marketing is just duplicate something that's working already, grab one of your campaigns that you have, and just require a $19 deposit for one of them and no deposit for the other one, and look at how big of a difference you see. Not only are these customers almost guaranteed to show, but they're mentally way more bought in as well, which in turn leads them to buy more packages. They'll refer more friends and keep coming back. I've seen this play out tons of times. One spa that I was working with had a 30% show rate before they started using deposits. Their marketing was working almost too good, and it was time for them to start filtering out the time wasters. We added a $25 deposit that would be credited towards the price of the treatment for the customer, and the show rate jumped to over 80% instantly. If you're having trouble getting people in the door at all, this might not be the move for you yet, but as you and your systems grow, make sure you're valuing your time more than anything. The next piece of the puzzle these winning med spas have dialed in is their speed to lead. When someone fills out your form, you have minutes to respond, not hours or days, you have minutes. These top spas aren't just running to the phone every time they get a call or have Instagram 24/7 open ready to respond either. They have systems. They'll have the receptionist script trained on how to sell people over the phone and book them in when they do call. Or they have automated systems set up to text these leads right away when they show interest and keep them warm until they can be called. Nowadays, even AI agents are getting super good for this, and they could book you in for people as well. Definitely better than not answering the phone at all. Some people like us even go as far as to have a designated call team to reach out to every lead within 1 to 5 minutes, just to maximize every single chance we have of securing all these bookings. Even if you have limited resources, there's always a way for you to make sure these leads are getting some sort of contact right away. The final and most important thing these med spas have perfected is their tracking. Without tracking every part of your system, you will never know where you're lacking and how to fix it. These guys know their cost per lead, cost per booking, their show rate, their return on ad spend, all the way down to the average time it takes for them to call a lead. I actually made a detailed video about this over on YouTube. If you want to find out exactly how to know your numbers as well, you can check that out over at youtube.com/scale77. Once you know your numbers, you can easily find what you need to improve. If you find your cost per lead is high, you know your offer needs work. If you see your show rate is low, your offer might be fine, but you need to charge deposits. If you see only 20% of people are buying packages, you'll know you need to focus on your team's sales. And if you aren't tracking any of these things, you'll just always spend all of your time trying to improve everything. And in tune, you'll just improve nothing. So if we zoom out and we piece all this together, we really have the core 4 pillars: a clear offer that speaks to emotion, deposits that build commitment, instant follow-up systems that build trust, and tracking that removes guesswork. When you connect all 4 of these, your marketing stops being random. This is exactly what you have to do if you want to grow. That wraps up session 1. If you made it this far, thank you. I'd like to let you know that you're already ahead of most other med spa owners. If you want to go a little deeper into this, be sure to check out our med spa marketing playbook over at scale77.com/playbook. Now, in the next episode, I'm going to go over how you can craft irresistible offers that turn attention into book appointments. I'll show you exactly how to build offers that make people stop scrolling, pay attention to you, and actually book. So thanks again. This is Jonathan Parker. I'll see you soon.